Welcome to something to talk about.
Yeah, really loud.
Welcome to something to talk about.
Hi, welcome to something to talk about, and yeah, welcome to a really big A Song of Ice and Fire. Not A Song of Ice and Fire. Wow, Elder Scrolls lore video. It's my second one, and I'm covering, because you have to do it quick. I did a random Morrowind character for my first one. But you got to cover Mike the Liar like pretty early on if you're going to cover Elder Scrolls lore characters, right? So also if you watch all my stuff, I just had a big week with A Song of Ice and Fire lore last week. I had Frey week. So it's time to talk about something else. All right. So if you don't know what's going on, I'm Taco. I make lore videos for Elder Scrolls characters and Fallout characters, and also Song of Ice and Fire characters. That's what I do mostly. I do not edit or polish these, clearly. Just uncut nerding out about lore. I read off these cards to stay on track, and I also like the feel of improv. These are not playthroughs or walkthroughs. 100%. Maik actually has almost nothing to do with any missions, but if other characters, if you're like looking for a playthrough and I'm like playing Twitch, I don't have a Twitch account. I don't do that. This is just me talking about the lore, right? They are lore videos for characters discussing their histories and interactions with the player character. Spoiler alert for the character and storylines that they are a part of. Maik's not really part of any storyline. He does help with one mission in one of the games, but that's it. Maik's awesome. Yeah, so let's bring up this fantastic thumbnail that I made. I went to art school. This is a template. So let's get into The Liar. Maik the Liar is a recurring source of misinformation and trolly stuff in the Elder Scrolls series, featured in Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, and Online. A comedic character, he was introduced by the game designers as a walking Easter egg to provide commentaries about the Elder Scrolls series and to troll, and yeah. Wherever he is found, he loves to share opinions with those he meets on a variety of random topics, such as children, Colovian fur helms in games without them, crossbows, dragons, fighting with one's feet, fish sticks, nudity, werewolves, and more. He almost always speaks in a third person when spoken to, like most Khajiit, because Maik the Liar likes tacos. Yeah, so let's get into it. So I'm not going to cover every one of his quotes because we'd be here for even longer, and I think we're going to be here for a while. But I did pick out a couple interesting ones. But yeah, Maik's not really part of any lore. So does he fit? Not really. I don't really have a lot of lore to cover, but I'm just going to explain where you see him in all the games in some of the best quotes. And that's kind of it. So I hope you enjoy that because I'm really excited. So in Morrowind, the first game I played, this is the only game Maik. By the way, when I first met Maik in Morrowind, I thought it was pronounced Mike. I thought the joke was Mike the Liar. But no, we find out later on when we talk to him in Oblivion and Skyrim where he goes, Maik. And I'm like, Maik? Man, I've been saying it's Mike the Liar. I don't know why I thought that was Mike. Mike, I don't know. That's how I pronounce. I was like 13. Okay. All right. The only game Maik doesn't roam around in. Instead, he resides on a small island south of. Here I go. I'm gonna try to read Marwin names. Seenham Astral Tomb, north of the ancient shipwreck. So you could just find him just hanging out on a very, very small island. He has many topics of conversation to choose from. So, of course, this is Marwin, so he doesn't speak directly to you. And you click it, and then he has a bunch of topics, and he has unique things to say about them. And if you run into him later on in the game, when you do more stuff, he'll have more topics. right? So if you ran into him right away, he probably won't have as much. But if you like completed a lot of the game and you went and saw like the merchant mud crab, which I always go find, he'll go merchant mud crab. So he'll have things to say about different stuff, right? Sorry, I had to take a drink. He has many topics of conversation, although some become available only once certain quests are active. See, I told you. This cat statements refer to in-game subjects that are somewhat mysterious, such as becoming a lich, horses, dwemer, and imperial crabs, referring to the unique giant crab shell that House Redoring Council is in. I won't say Alderun. He also talks about game features that have changed or have been implemented or even been discarded during developmental during development. Thank you. Since the previous game, like dragons. He also is the only character that can mark a location of a ruined shrine to Boethia on your map, since it is very hard to find without it. Yeah, that's the only thing he helps with. He is, besides that, he is just a sorry, that's what was going on over there. Besides that, he's just an Easter egg where he's like, dragons, weren't they cool? That's good. So I got a lot of his quotes from Morrowind in here. And the first one is horses. He goes, horses? Oh, Maik loves horses, especially with good cream sauce. So, of course, this is a bit on how there aren't horses in Morrowind. You can't ever get one. So you see horses. Oh, maybe we can get them. Nope, there are no horses. Multiplayer, same thing. There isn't any multiplayer. Maik does not know this word. You wish others to help you in your quest? Coward! If you must, search for Augurum I'm Leet. The Argonian, there we go. The Argonian I'm Leet. Or perhaps the big Nord Rolf the Uber. This will certainly wish, or they will certainly wish to join you. Of course, those characters don't exist. They're just, part of like how people talked in back then. I love a Rolf the Uber. I need to make those characters in like Skyrim. I should just do that. Talking Mud Crab Merchant, by the way, best merchant in the game. I always go find him. Maik has heard of this. They've got all the money. Mud crabs taking over everything. They're ready to ruin Peligate. And then, of course, Were Sharks, which I think Were Sharks was mentioned in something of the game before. In Daggerfall, I can't remember 100% Were Sharks. But yeah, it's pretty fantastic. I've only met one, but he was afraid of the water. All right. Maik doesn't stay as funny. I think he is the funniest at Morrowind. So let's get to when you meet him in Oblivion. So in Oblivion, unlike being stationary in Morrowind, he is constantly running from one place to another. Beginning in Nibene Basin, he moves between Leeuwin and Anvil, and every so often searching for calipers for 5 hours, which is 5 minutes. If approaching Maik is not possible, spotting a pair of calipers on the ground nearby and waiting for him to run up to get his attention. I never did that in Oblivion. I never knew that you could just like throw up some calipers and then Maik's like, That's amazing. I wish I knew that. So so that's how you can get his attention. Sometimes he will chase random deer in the wild for no apparent reason, probably to eat them. He is the fastest person in Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and he can outrun all perchable horses except for the black horse of Chedanal. Yeah, he's just like, boom. I remember that when I first ran into him in Morrowind, I was like, man, Maik really runs this time. And that's when I found out his name was, or did I say Morrowind? In Oblivion. And that's when I found out his name was Maik. That was sad. I have a first in all of my lore videos. I have audio clips. I'm moving on up in the world, guys. So let's hear his one about Clovian fur helms.
Maik longs for a Colovian fur helm. Practical, yet stylish. Mike is very sad he does not have one.
I said lake, referring to the now lack of the fantastic helm, the one that he wears in Morrowind. So this helm that he's wearing in the Morrowind, which are like my favorite fur helms of all time. I believe they later brought them in like Creation Club, which is very nice, but not in Oblivion, as far as I'm aware. And then our next one about children.
Mike believes the children are our future, but he doesn't want them ruining all of our fun.
So I assume this is just referring to the lack of children in Oblivion, right? Like Morrowind, we get to see kids, but not in Oblivion. And then this one gets me the most mad.
Levitation is for fools. Why would we want to levitate? Once you are up high, there is nowhere to go but down.
Okay, yeah, no, for real. This one got me mad. They took away our levitation. And in Morrowind, I almost always play it an alteration character so I can levitate and just break the game, right? And I always try to justify it because I like to role play my character, so I would have to justify like my orc barbarian character, who also is an alteration master. I mean, he has to be because I loved alteration spells. So it's them convincing us. He's like, oh, there's nowhere to go but down. Yeah, you break the game with it because it was the best when you're like, oh, I have to fight all the way up this, like the raid, and I'm just going to float and take this, go. It made traveling all easier, made everything easier. Levitation, going to find the wizard staff in Morrowind was a must, right? Getting your levitation to either a staff or there's a couple other levitations or just mastering your own levitation spell. The fact that they didn't only take away levitation, but then Maik runs up to you and rubs your face in it. What a jerk, Maik. All right, dragons.
I have seen dragons.
This is my stomach.
Perhaps you will see a dragon. I won't say where I saw one. Perhaps I did not.
Looks like we eventually did see dragons in Skyrim. I don't know if this was put in to kind of hint that we're going to see them in Skyrim or the fact that there just are no dragons. But yeah. And then, yep, here's another really good one.
Werewolves? Where? Wolves? Men that are wolves? Many wolves. Everywhere. Many men. That is enough for Maik.
And yeah, again, I wrote no as in K-N-O-W. That's hilarious. No wolfman in Oblivion. And yeah, you could become a werewolf in Morrowind and then later in Skyrim, not in Oblivion. So let's get back to make it to the Skyrim version of Maik. So in Skyrim, Maik in Skyrim that can be you can randomly be encountered on any road. However, very rarely he can be found as early as Helgen, but will only spawn after Unbound quest is completed. After attempting to talk to him 3 to 5 times, in some cases only once, he will say he's tired and walk away. Which is really lame. You can't just spawn all the funny things out of him because he'll only give you a little bit and that he's really hard to find. So I actually didn't know a lot of these, and I played Skyrim for a nonstop for 10 years, right? I stopped playing it a little bit back, but I mean I played it for a long time. And I don't think I heard all of them. But I probably did. I don't know. He's got goofy things like invisibility has no effect on him. He would still make comments. So he's got some goofy like things about him. So invisibility has no effect on him. So he would still make comments as if you're invisible. So if you walk up to him invisible, he'll go, Maik knows you're there. He won't say that, but he'll say, tacos, where tacos, or whatever Maik says. Maik constantly breaks the fourth wall in a variety of quotes referring to graphics, skills, etc. in-game. Unlike Morrowind and Oblivion, Maik in Skyrim spawns randomly. So he's not running around like in Oblivion, and he's not stationary like in Morrowind. So let's get to some of the quotes. Just three. We got the first one's werebears.
Werebears? Where? Bears? Men that are bears?
So yeah, straight up a reference to the last one of the werewolves, right? From Oblivion. Like literally, like it's not as long, but like mostly a reference to that. And then snow.
Much snow in Skyrim. Enough snow. Mike does not want any more.
So this is the fact that Skyrim was originally promised to have, quote, dynamic snow that would build on surfaces instead of kind of like falling through stuff and then just snow around. And I think that this was the developers like, yeah, we tried. Sorry. And then finally, calipers.
Mike is always in search of calipers, yet he finds none. Where could they have gone?
So yeah, a reference to how he's finding calipers and looking for them in Oblivion. Yeah. So he would stop at noon every day to search for calipers for 5 hours, which is hilarious. And yeah, so that's all we got for Skyrim. But of course, there is one more game, and that is in Elder Scrolls Online and ESO. So Ma'ik the Liar can randomly encountered all over Tamriel. He his best lines. So yeah, I'm just getting right to it. This is another random encounter. So his best lines in the Elder Scrolls Online is Ma'ik tried to swim to out to sea, but had to turn back. Slaughterfish, always the slaughterfish. We're referring to how the sea travel is made impossible due to slaughterfish. Wood elves aren't made of wood. Sea elves are not made of water. Ma'ik still wonders about high elves. And I think that's just a chill joke about high, like they're being high, like they're high on weed. Which, you know, is pretty funny. Ma'ik regrets a few things. Failing to wear boots in a swamp is one of them. So this is a reference to the beast races, Argonians and Khajiit, who could not wear any boots or any type of footwear in Morrowind, which actually made them kind of just inherently crappier because they could wear less armor, which is funny. I mean, I still loved playing Khajiits and Argonians, but yeah. And then last but not least, Ma'ik used to travel alone, but he has grown accustomed to joining his friends. Referring to, of course, Elder Scrolls Online. All other Elder Scrolls games up to that point were single player only, and now ESO is an MMO, right? This is a mass multiplayer online game. So it was an RPG, right? So that's what that was. That's all we got. I had to wear headphones so I could listen to Ma'ik. So there you guys go. That was not everything. Like I said, I didn't cover every single quote, but that's your introduction to Ma'ik the Liar and where you can find him, and also that he actually helps in a quest in Morrowind, which is really good. So I'm going to have Ma'ik say this.
Mike is done talking.
And I guess that's my cue. So thank you guys for watching. I will be doing more Elder Scrolls and Fallout characters. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Taco is done tacoing now. Peace.